जोगली वाको लगी उठावे आगी गयो आगी गयो आगी गयो संगतिये बेरो मन आगी गयो ये संग बेरो हरि नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे आयो सखी नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे आयो सखी मैं तो खड़ी सिखड़ी खड़ी देख सिखड़ी मैं तो खड़ी सिखड़ी खड़ी देख सिखड़ी नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे आयो सखी नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे अगर मधुर वाको वदन मधुर छवि नयन मधुर मुस्कान जी मैं तो खरी सी खरी खरी देख नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे आयो सखी नंद नंदन आंगन मोरे पद पैजनिया शुभ शुभ बाजत धीर से आयो चित उत चितवत मैं जोगली वाको लगी उठावे मैं जोगली वाको लगी उठावे आगी गयो ये संग बेरो मैं तो कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। ओम श्री गणेशाय ओम श्री सरस्वती नमः। Then now भगवान राम भगवान श्री राम and they started singing right Shri Ram देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम देखो पुष्पकारूढ़ सिया राम देखो पुष्पकारूढ़ सिया राम लक्ष्मण सुग्रीव हनुमान लक्ष्मण सुग्रीव हनुमान देखो पुष्पकारूढ़ सिया राम लक्ष्मण सुग्रीव हनुमान देखो पुष्पकारूढ़ सिया राम लक्ष्मण सुग्रीव हनुमान नल नील अंगद समेत नरनीय अंगद समेत विभीषण अरुजाम्बवान् विभीषण अरुजाम्बवान् विभीषण अरुजाम्बवान् विभीषण अरुजाम्बवान् देखो देखो रे आए भगवान देखो देखो रे आए भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम देखो देखो रे आए भगवान देखो देखो रे आए भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम आनंद मगन उरगन मंगल बोध त्रिभुवन आनंद मगन उरगन मंगल बोध त्रिभुवन अवसाद्य धर्म स्थापन अवसाद्य धर्म स्थापन राम राज कीर्ति महान राम राज कीर्ति महान राम राज कीर्ति महान राम राज कीर्ति महान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम सीताराम देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान देखो देखो रे आए रे भगवान श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम सीताराम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुधारो मां की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की In the end there is a prayer that, oh Lord, please dwell in my heart. आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे नीलकंठ पार्वतीश ये कृपा नीलकंठ पार्वतीश ये कृपा नीलकंठ पार्वतीश ये कृपा नीलकंठ पार्वतीश ये कृपा आदिदेव महादेव ये दयानिधे आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे नमस्तेस्तु विश्वेश्वर जम्बकेश गंगाधर विश्वेश्वर जम्बकेश गंगाधर नमस्तेस्तु विश्वेश्वर जम्बकेश गंगाधर नमस्तेस्तु विश्वेश्वर जम्बकेश गंगाधर नंदिकेश भालचंद्र हे पशुपते नंदिकेश भालचंद्र हे नंदिकेश भाल चंद्र हे पशुपते नंदिकेश भाल चंद्र हे पशुपते आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे आदिदेव महादेव हे दयानिधे.
Hari Om everyone. Can you all hear me and see me clearly? Thank you. Are you all doing well? Being safe? Good. Good to see all of you nod your head. I think after this COVID situation, if we were all put as teams in the charades, I think we would win, because there's a beautiful understanding that we have developed. Glad to see all of you. Let us begin. We are in the 59th Sutra. For a moment, I had to think through. Is it a chaupai? Is it a shloka? Is it a mantra? What am I? Okay, then I had to look and said, okay, it is a sutra. Okay. So we will begin with 3 ohms. Sahanavavatu Guru Brahma. And then get in directly. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The easiness of connecting with divine, specifically with that aspect of divine which is called Saguna Sakara. Saguna Sakara means that which has guna and which has a certain shape to it. Guna means characteristics or qualities. Akara means shape and form. Saguna Sakara. So Bhagavan Krishna, and it is like if you ever have gone to buy the murtis of Bhagavan, whether brass or marble, nicely, beautifully carved. So the shopkeeper will immediately say, कौन सा कृष्ण? Which kind of Krishna do you want? Because he has a whole lot of variety. What do you mean by variety? Were there that many Krishnas? No, 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 no. Different stages of life of Bhagavan Krishna all cannot be depicted in one murti. So they are all in different murtis. And people love their connection depending on how they feel at ease with that connection, that form of Bhagavan Krishna. Now, Surdas ji loved Bhagavan Krishna as Bala Gopala. There is a story that Akbar wanted to meet these two giants. So he set Birbal up to find these two Mahatmas, and Akbar had a hidden agenda, a hidden motive. Who were the two Mahatmas? One was Sant Goswami Tulsidas ji, and the other was Surdas ji, and both were contemporaries. Both were aligned in such a way that they would arrive at the fort at the same time. Just to test them out, Akbar unleashed a mad elephant at them. Birbal did not know. He would not have signed up for it. Birbal did not know. So Birbal was in fact with them. He ran away. Sant Goswami Tulsidas ji stood his grounds and Surdas ji ran. So Akbar, in his own stature or in his own wisdom, came to the conclusion that Sant Goswami Tulsidas ji is a greater Mahatma because he was not scared of, afraid of this mad elephant. But the fact of the matter was, when Birbal asked Surdas ji, कि भाई आप भागे क्यों? Why did you run? He said, Goswami Tulsidas is a worshipper of Hanumanji, and Hanumanji in his Pragada Rupa, he just came. In his terrifying form, he came and stood. So he stood his ground. When I invoked my Krishna, it was Bala Krishna. He turned around, jumped into my lap, and he said, Dadu, bhago! He used to see him as his own grandchild. And Bhagavan Krishna used to address him as Dadu, Dadu meaning as a grandfather. So he said, bhago! So I had to protect my Krishna, so I had to run. So Sant Surdas ji, he used to worship Bala Krishna. Mirabai, mere to Giridhar Gopala, dusro na koi. Even other form of Krishna, I don't accept. Only that form of Krishna. And Pujya Swami Akhandanandji, he saw Bhagavan Krishna nritya karata gopiyon ke sang. He saw that darshan of Bhagavan Krishna dancing with all the gopis. And if you ever go to his ashram, you will find that there is a beautiful altar where Bhagavan Krishna, as he saw in the vision, nice beautiful sculpture, murti made. So each one sees a different form. So Saguna, Sakara. The moment you have a form and the attributes to those forms, to connect to that aspect of divine becomes easy. Why? Mind can dwell deep into these various aspects of the rasa, the essence of this guna and akara, the shape and the characteristics, different kinds of attributes, guna. You can in fact sit down and have a dialogue, a constant dialogue with Bhagavan. And Namdev, he used to say Okay, today's Naivedya is done. Did you like it? He used to feed Bhagavan Krishna into his mouth, Vithoba. And then he would ask, tomorrow, what do you want? And sometimes end up telling him to choose something that he wanted so that the remains of it he could enjoy. Please, why don't you, ask for Puran Poli? Haven't had it, and I'll tell mom to make it and tell that you asked for it. And I say, okay, Puran Poli. You can have that dialogue with Bhagavan in your own visualization. And there is nothing to stop once that we reach to that level of Manasa Puja, wherein sky is the limit. That is why Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji in his Manasa Puja, he is a Pakkad Sadhu. Pakkad Sadhu meaning wearing nothing more than those two pieces of cloth and a jhola and a ekadandi danda in his hand, and he would keep walking. He had nothing else with him. But his imagination, there is no daridrata in his visualization of Bhagavan. There is no constipated feeling in that imagination. Quite liberally thinking about Bhagavan and all glory. And how was he? He says, Ratnai kalpita masanam himajalaihi snanancha divyambaram. Ratnaihi kalpitam asanam. A beautiful golden throne, very intricately carved, studded with several precious stones, ratnaihi. And in our Bhava Daridrata, what do we do? In our Puja Vidhi, I'll explain what is Bhava Daridrata. In our Puja Vidhi, we start with Puja and we start with the first step, Asanam Samarpayami. And how is the asana? Ratna Khachita Hema Simhasanam Samarpayami. And Bhagavan is also looking, Areva, Ratna Khachita Hema Simhasanam. Hema means golden. Embedded with, embossed with Ratna. Ratna meaning precious stones. Areva, where is it? Bhagavan, just to be humored. Not that Bhagavan is expecting anything. And then we say, Tadartham Akshatan Samarpayami. Instead of that, I offer Akshata. That also is an acceptable form of puja. I'll tell you what Bhava Daridrata is. I'll give you an example, best. Long time ago, during a Balavihar camp, I had taken this group of kids to the ocean nearby. And this brother and sister were playing house. So the sister was the older one. So she was acting like the mother, and now comes in the husband, acted by this brother, and he comes like, opening his tie, throwing the bag, or opening the shoes, and sits down, collapses. Kuch khane ko hai? Is there something to eat? Where are they getting this information from? Whatever they have seen at home, that is the scene that they're playing. Kuch khane ko hai? Is there something to eat? So I said, yeah. And she pulled his hand and took some sand, put it on the hand, and did some goal, round, and put another lump of sand, goal, and then said, morning's puri, yesterday's sabji, yesterday's curry. And he looked at it for a while. And this kid must be about 5.5, 6 year old. The sister was definitely 8-year-old. So he looks at this hand, looks at his sister, again looks at it and pays, and then he just drops it. And says, what happened? You're not playing? This is not fair. Last time you said you will play with me. That I would. After all, you're putting sand in my hand. Can't you say garam garam jalebi, garam garam pakode, garam garam samosa? Fresh samosa, fresh pakoda, fresh jalebi. Why does it have to be morning's puri and yesterday's sabji? You see, in our imagination also, we constrain ourselves in our imagination. In our visualization is not that grand. And there is nothing that stops you from this grand visualization of seeing that Bhagavan in and through every single act of yours in connecting with the world and every single individual or circumstance. I know it is very difficult to understand this concept. It took me a while, and for a while I have been telling my inspiration, what I had read through, and that really transformed the way I think about it. The connection to the Shraddha towards Bhagavan. And one book, one travelogue of a great Sant Mahatma that completely changed my mindset was Papa Ramdas, In Quest of God. It is his travelogue. Whether it is good circumstances or bad circumstances or horrifying circumstances, he would see everybody that he is interacting with as Rama, and he is that Rama's Dasa. Therefore, Ramadasa. He said, I don't have to change the world. I just have to connect to them as Rama. My world has changed. Look at the power of visualization. That where is Rama? Chalta firta har jagah. He is there, walking, talking, moving. He is the very Pratyaksha in all these forms. Yes, he is there in the temples and other places as well. But he is in these forms that are walking, talking, interacting with you. There is a particular incident that will move anybody reading that travelogue. He is once in a train, and this is pre-independence time. So he is in a train and he is necked out by the ticket collector, the one who checks your ticket. He didn't have ticket. So obviously he was pushed out. And he says, okay, thank you, Rama. Maybe I have to learn something at this place that you are pushing me out into. And it was dark platform. And the police there came in and said, you cannot come into this side of the railway station. It is prohibited for you Indians to come on this side. Therefore, only that side. And many people had occupied. He finally found a place. And it was filled with filth, that place. Now, you can imagine what kind of filth, railway station filth. And the amazing thing is, he says, oh, Bhagavan wants me to not have attachment with this body, which is filled with nothing but this filth. Thank you, Rama. I will take care of keeping that point in my conscious mind, constantly invigilating myself to not be attached to this body. He is walking and he is having a nice, a thick shawl kind of a thing. And somebody threatens him and takes it away from him. He said, Rama, You don't need to threaten me. Take this. This is what you want. And he takes it off and gives it away. And within 5 minutes, this is in the Himalayan place. He has nothing to wear to keep his warmth. A vehicle passes by and a Sethji who is sitting in that car stops that car, pulls him in. And then says, oh, Bhagwan, you removed that shawl so that you could provide me with the next stage of comfort. Thank you. Both ways it is your Leela only. Whether good, bad, insignificant, horrifying, however be the experience, his dialogue was with this creation as the very expression of Bhagwan. Now, haven't we learned that in and through every aspect of this creation, there is nothing but that Paramatma Tattva only? Meaning what? Every form, every being is nothing but that Bhagwan. That is what it means when we say Namaste. To that Aradhya Bhagavan in you is what I am saluting. Namahate. Not to this body, mind, and intellect. That because of which this body, mind, and intellect is functioning, to that Paramatma we are saluting. And if I do not have that attitude towards someone specific, something specific, what have I become? What have I started hating? I am hating the very expression of that Bhagavan. So the Saulabhyam, the beauty of it is the easiness with which I can connect to that divine all around me, all across, in every form and being. So last week we saw how, with respect to the other purification processes, bhakti is the most easy one. How can you say maybe it is easy, but you will have to get into something higher later? Don't worry about it. Why? He tells that in the next sutra. What does he say? Pramanantarasya anapekshvatvat swayam pramanatvacha pramanantarasyanapekshvatvat swayam pramanatvacha pramanantarasya anapekshvatvat. This love divine, this bhakti, it does not have to depend upon any other pramana, any other proof or validation. Why? Swayam pramanatvacha. It in itself is the pramana. It in itself is the proof. Swayam pramanatvacha. See, supposing we have to talk about jnana. Now, what is the proof of that jnana pramana? It has to be that swanubhava. Now, that swanubhava, you are required to have viveka, vairagya, shamadamadi, shat sampatti, mumukshutvam, and then thorough introduction into all aspects of shastra, vichara, and learning all of it. So you'll have to memorize it so that you are not. What did it say in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam? Yes, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are two different texts. And what did it say in Viveka Chudamani? What did it say in? You have to remember all that. You have to understand the whole sequence of logic. It depends on so many factors. Now, supposing it is karma yoga, you need the field to work, and not all the time we find a congenial environment for us to function in, isn't it? I want to work and give the best. I don't know how many of you have worked in the cubicle circles, meaning the multiple or multinational companies, the forts of capitalism. There's so much of politics. You know that that fellow is saying it wrong, present it wrong, but you cannot say anything because, or you cannot do anything because that fellow is boss. You have to suck up. The right environment is required, right attitude is required. Supposing you are into the path of, say, hatha yoga. Hatha yoga, and you have to have the right place. The place has to be clean, and then you sit there. You have to have the asana siddhi. Then you start doing pranayama. Have you seen Kapalabhati? Have you done Kapalabhati or Bhasrika? And for that, definitely before doing pranayama, you cannot do it with full stomach. And then asana. And there's such a discipline that is required and such a regularity that is required. The strictness is amazingly demanding. Now, supposing you talk about jnana vairagya, and what is the requirement? That when the world tests you with all kinds of jug things, that is why it is called jagat. The world which is so shining that it keeps distracting you. Remember the scene in Matrix where Neo is taken for the first test and there is a lady in the red? Do you know what I'm talking about? If not, after the class, Google the scene from Matrix, lady in the red, and just that clip you will see. And he gets distracted briefly and then he turns around and he feels entrapped. A little slight, we cannot control our taste buds. Breakfast done, lunch done, dinner done, in between packets of several things done. Why? Because it was lying there and it was calling for me. It said, pick me up, open me. I started with only one. With the idea was that I will eat only one. But then, I don't know. By the time I realized the packet was done. And if you live in Texas, nothing comes in small size. So when I hear these things, I remember that, Punjab में सब बड़े मिलते हैं. Even those Punjabans are like so strong and healthy looking, tall, and you compare it with a Andhra fellow or a Tamil fellow, that fellow will look puny, skinny. And you should see their pumpkins and other things that they grow. Radishes are like this big. You would not have seen that size and shape of radishes. And Texas is also like that. Big, badda. Everything is big. So no packet comes in a small size. It is all party size. which is good for about 8 to 10 people. One fellow sitting just be the Zoom call with the video of karum kuchup done. Ha 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 ha. What gleeful smiles. Everybody is finding a resonance in here. I must have done this sometimes at least. Why? Can't stop with one, Dil mange more. And those are the taglines too. And one thing these companies have mastered. They have mastered how to entrap the taste buds. Whether it is Lay's, whether it is Doritos, whether it is whatever else that you munch on. It craves for more. Taste bud are not in control. Something beautiful or something attractive, something attractive. Yes, we all say I am looking, I am making myself look good. It is only for myself. Ha ha ha. That day when nobody appreciates, even though you look beautiful, there is such a pida inside. Nobody said anything. And then you start, how do I look? Nah. Ah, that day pida. Vairagya is tested. But when you come to bhakti, there is no such pre-qualifiers. Look at all the great bhaktas. Prahlada, born in Rakshasakula, born to the greatest of the Rakshasas, Hiranyakashipu. And he did not cut a sorry figure saying, oh, I have childhood trauma. My dad did this, so therefore I am conditioned like this. My mom did so, therefore I am conditioned like this. My environment that I grew up was so pathetic that I grew up like this pathetic. Yeah, nothing like that. He said, whatever be the outside environment, my Bhagavan is great and my devotion to that Bhagavan is great, and that Bhagavan came for him. When Rakshasa himself is accepted by Bhagavan, the one who is born with predisposition of genetics of a Rakshasa, how many are like that? Several. Prahlada, then Bali, another great devotee of Bhagavan. Not Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana. As soon as he reached Bhagavan's feet, nothing. The moment he said Sharanagatam, like I'm taking your Sharanagati, Bhagavan just accepted him. Rakshasa. Somebody who does not know anything. All that she had for faith was her Guru Vakya. She went to her Guru when she was a teenager. And he said, do this mantra, which he gave as Ramanam mantra. Your job from the base of this, from the foothills all the way to this kutia, you keep this place clean, nicely decorated. One day Bhagavan will walk up this hill to see you. You will have Bhagavad Darshanam. He's like, will my Rama come to see me? He said, rest be assured, Bhagavan will come to see you. She didn't go back the very next week. Is he going to come tomorrow? Is he going to come today? She was rest assured. Guru has said, it will happen. Until when? You and I from Kali Yuga would have lost faith, what the heck am I doing here, sitting, cleaning up, all the way down, and then decorating it, putting rangoli. क्या मेरे जिंदगी में और कुछ है ही नहीं क्या? There's nothing better in my life or what? Stuck in this rut. What am I doing this cleaning for? Who is going to come? Year after year, month after month, day after day, every day I'm doing this cleaning. Nobody comes here, let alone Bhagwan. Even a bird doesn't come this way. Why am I doing this? She had no self-doubt. Nobody appreciates. She had no qualms about her self-worth either. What was her nishtha? Guru Vakya. Guru has said that Bhagwan will come and give darshan, and she was a ripe old age by the time Bhagwan came. And look at her humility. She said, Bhagwan, how do I enhance my bhakti further? To her, Bhagwan gives the 9 steps of bhakti. And other than her Shraddha in Bhagwan, nothing else mattered to her. Guru Vakyeshu Shraddha. That was sufficient to connect to Bhagwan. Hanumanji, when Vibhishana says, I am born in a Rakshasa Kula, will Bhagwan accept somebody so low born? Hanumanji laughs. And he says, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the irony of this whole situation and your question. You're talking to somebody who is Vanara, who has been accepted by that Bhagwan. You're at least a human with a Rakshasa attitude. With a Rakshasa backdrop, you're born, I am a Vanara and I have been accepted. Why do you doubt that you will not be accepted? So stop worrying about, papoham, papa sambhavoham, papatma, papa sambhava, papi. Yes, point taken. That we have done enough. That which we may not be proud of. But how do you connect to that Bhagwan? And he is quite okay as to how you will connect. Whether as a child, you as a child and Bhagwan as the caregiver, Mata, Pita, whatever is the relation. Or you being the caregiver and Bhagwan is like the Balakrishna or Balarama and you are the one who is giving care. There are many who have the Vatsalya Bhava, like a parent's heart towards Bhagwan. Like Arjuna, he treated Bhagwan with high fives, meaning like a friend. Maybe they had a different kind of a handshake, I don't know. Like, when you have these friends and they have these crazy kind of handshakes, a high tap, low tap, and then, fist bump, and then shoulder, I don't know what all they do. Maybe he had. But I can tell you, in both Bhagavata and in Mahabharata, he prostrated to Bhagwan at his feet. But he had his fun. He had his camaraderie with Bhagwan as a suhrit. Suhrit meaning as a friend. Sudama came in with Deenatva. Bhagavan did not say, change your attitude. Even with that attitude, if the intensity is connecting to that divine, he said, that is fine. You know what is the most beautiful part? I love the 7th canto of Bhagavatam for that. There, the entire 7th canto runs on one Mula Sutra. And that Mula Sutra is sutra meaning the very crux of that 7th canto is in one line. Kenapi bhavena manah krishne niveshayet. It doesn't matter which bhava with which you connect with Bhagavan, whatever be the bhava, do you get to connect with that divine? That is what matters. There, Bhagavan goes to explain, because Yudhishthira's question to Narada was, how come the Shishupala and Dantavakra, who have been constantly criticizing Bhagavan, they get to merge with Bhagavan? Because they were criticizing with the choicest of galis. Gali, cuss words. Huh? How did they end up merging into Bhagavan? It says, Kamsa also merged in Bhagavan because of his fear. Anything with dark bluish hue, he would be scared. Maybe that is Krishna in that shape and form. Shishupala Dantavakra because of hatred. Now come to talk of it. We are talking about love. Bhagavan says love is the purest of them. Even if it is these other bhavas, I still accept. But it has to be uncorrupted hatred. 100% hatred. Uncorrupted dvesha, dislike. Or uncorrupted fear. 100%. But then we will start having guilt. I criticized Bhagavan and when you read, whether it is Surdas ji or Rahim or Raskhan or Tyagaraja or Purandara, you read their works. Especially there is one from Andhra. His name also is Ramadas. And he built this beautiful temple. And he used all the money that was meant for the tax on the temple for Bhagavan Sri Rama. Because Bhagavan Sri Rama came in his dream and he said, use this money for the temple. And then he gets jailed. Because the tax money misappropriated. Then from the jail, he sings to Bhagavan. And the kinds of galis that he gives Bhagavan. And they are all in the song, recorded. They're called the Bhakta Ramadasa Kritis. I'll just take one sample. You asked me to spend that money and now I have ended up here. A true translation of it into Hindi would be, तेरे बाप का समझ रखा था क्या? You think it is your father owned that property and you asked me to use it and now you end me up in such a situation? If you don't come to save and protect me, I will go into the streets and sing such things about you. Beware. He is like threatening Bhagavan. What kind of a devotion is that? He said, even that, if it connects. For us to understand, let me put it in a small anecdotal story format. There was this person who was given the instruction that please worship Bhagavan Shiva. He is Kshipra Prasadi. He will give you boons immediately. and he was given this beautiful statue of Bhagavan Shiva and a Shivalinga, and do puja. He did for 41 days continuously. Nothing happened. So frustrated, he said, if father Pashupati doesn't work, then I'll go with Ganapati, his son. So he brought another Ganapati and he started worshipping Ganapati. And he was so mad at Bhagavan Shiva. So that day, the first day when he started offering prayers to Lord Ganesha, Bhagavan Ganeshji, and there is that one step, dhupam aghrapayami, dhupam darshayami, dhupa meaning incense sticks. So he lit that and he placed it in front of Ganeshji, and the effervescence of it, the smoke of it was going towards Bhagavan Shiva, to his face. And he got so mad, so mad. He said, how dare you? I am offering it to Ganeshji, and you are partaking in it. You will not get that effervescence. So he took the cotton wick that was there. He lumped up 2-3 and plugged both nostrils of Bhagavan Shiva. He said, you will not get it. Huh. And lo behold, Bhagwan just appeared in front of him. Bhagavan Shiva appeared. And this fellow, exactly like us, said, ha, now you come, huh? I should have done this plugging your nose long time ago. That is what we will conclude. Moral of the story is, plug the nostrils of Bhagavan until he shows up. The moral of the story is not that. Bhagavan himself says, he says, these 41 days when you were worshipping, there was no connection from you to this form of mine. Om Shivaya Namaha, Om Mahadevaya Namaha, Om Girijaya Namaha, Om Girishaya Namaha. You kept worshipping, but there was no connect. It was not as though I am here and you are offering it to me. First time you recognize that I am here sitting in front of you and you did not want me to smell that. That means you connected with me being here. That is the connect that is so divine, pure. So the connection with Bhagavan, it doesn't need any other proof. The fulfillment of it in itself is the proof. As they say, proof is in the pudding. Once you connect, the tripti, the shanti, and the peace that you find inside is unparalleled. And it is not just this, but the ultimate also you become qualified to experience. How so? That is given in the 60th Sutra, which we will see next week. Now let me collapse it to the full-fledged form. Last time it was Suraj that sang, right? Krishna Priya.
Hari Om Swamiji. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nij Mana Mukur Sudhari Varano Raghuvar Vimal Jasu Jodayak Phalachari Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumara Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत तुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुवेश, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केश। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस वदन तुम्हरो यस गावै, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिखपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दाता। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाए। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंधि महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीशा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Before we chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, with a very saddened heart, I have to inform all of you that Puja Swami Subodhananji, he was one of our very senior Swamijis. He was the student of Puja Guruji, Puja Swami Tejavananji, and he was in Puja Guruji's first Brahmachari training course, which Guruji conducted in Hindi in Siddhabari. After being trained in Siddhabari, he stayed back in Siddhabari to take care of all the activities in Siddhabari, and then later on became the Acharya who would teach and train several courses in Siddhabari in Hindi. And soon enough, Gurudev made him in charge of the entire North Indian regional head. And that capacity, he traveled from Rajasthan to Bihar all the way to Pathankot, Siddhabari, Himachal. He traveled all across North, and he is very popularly known, very endearingly known for his lectures on Sri Ram Charitmanas. A very profound, prolific speaker. One thing that comes to my mind is whenever we were in charge of organizing that talk and we had to man the PA system for him, because he was very, very soft spoken. And it would be a nightmare for us to put that mic in such a way that it picks up what he speaks, very low volume. But in spite of that, he would speak such profound wisdom that people would look up to an opportunity to spend time with him. He attained Mahasamadhi. Whenever a sannyasi leaves the body, we call that as Mahasamadhi. Yesterday, he had a massive heart attack and he left his body. So the Mahamrityunjaya mantra that we are all going to chant, I would dedicate that to Puja Swami Subodhananji, and I would request Brahmachari Hari Chaitanya to chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra on behalf of all of us.
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् 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 ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्.
Thank you, Hari. We will wind up with Shanti Patha. Until we see next week, please, guys, be safe, be strong, and be of help to those who are around. Be the part of the solution rather than being a part of the problem. So let us wind up. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। हरि ओम। Stay safe.